We are pleased to have with us now Representative Jim Jordan, Republican from Ohio. He is the chairman of the Republican Study Committee, the caucus of House Conservatives. And Chairman Jordan, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Well, Republicans in the House are moving forward with repeal of President Obama's health care law after the Supreme Court upheld the individual mandate. Without Republican majority in the Senate, the odds are against this becoming a reality. So why then is the GOP moving forward with repeal?
Well, I think you need to let the American people know we are committed to getting rid of this law. We think it's bad precedent, bad law, not going to help the health care needs of families and business owners across this country. And so we're committed to repealing it and then restarting the debate. We like to say repeal and restart. Restart the debate, focus in on those solutions that are true solutions, that are going to help families, help with the cost overall, and solutions that are centered in communities, in states, and in families. Not here in Washington, D.C.
Now, let's say repeal doesn't work. What other tools are available to lawmakers like you to undo this law? And the fact that the justices upheld the individual mandate as a tax, does this make it any easier for House Republicans to dismantle the law since taxing and spending comes out of Congress?
Look, the only way you're going to ultimately repeal this thing is to change who's in the White House and change the makeup of the United States Congress. I mean, it's really that simple. We're going to have the vote in the House. We'll vote to repeal it. It'll go to the Senate. Harry Reid won't repeal it, obviously. And even if the Senate would, suddenly see the light and do that, President Obama wouldn't sign it. So the only way we can fix this is to appeal to the people who are ultimately in control of this great country, we the people, the American people, and we make big decisions on Election Day. So it, again, underscores the importance of the upcoming election. This issue will remain front and center in this campaign. But the American people are going to have to speak, and it's something I've been telling folks all across our district, all across the state, and frankly, and I've been to other districts and said the same thing. This election's critical, and the way we change it, the way we ultimately repeal this bad law, is for the American people to elect a new president.
Now, presumptive GOP presidential nominee Mitt Romney last night raised $4.2 million in less than 24 hours after the SCOTUS ruling. What does this tell us about how American voters really feel about the ruling? And
yeah, they don't like it. I mean, look, it was truly, when we first got the hearing, it was in some ways you're just saddened that the Supreme Court said it was okay for the government to basically now do anything, and under the power of the taxing authority, to basically make Americans do anything, and where does it end? Where does it stop? And so it was a disappointing and in some ways surprising decision. But I think from a political perspective, I think when people look at this, it just fires up Americans more to say, we need to change who makes up Congress, who's in the White House, so we can fix this thing.
Does the ruling give the Romney campaign a boost?
I mean, you cited the numbers. I guess I'll leave that up to the political experts. What I do know is Americans don't like this law. They understand it to be a threat to our freedom. And that doesn't sit well with Americans. I mean, that's just... It goes right to the very heart of what our country is about, that the federal government supposedly now with this decision has just virtually unlimited power. That's not how Americans envision this country. That's not what they want. American people do value liberty and freedom, and I think they're going to show up and speak in a loud way on Election Day.
Now, your home state of Ohio is considered a swing state, and in a recent Quinnipiac poll, the president was ahead of presumptive GOP nominee Mitt Romney by 9 percentage points, 47% to 38%. How do you see Ohio going in the presidential election?
I think if you look at what's underneath that poll, I was talking with a good friend of mine who is running the Josh Mandel for Senate campaign there. It's actually our chief of staff on leave. And he said, you look at that poll, the sampling of Republicans and Democrats, it was skewed in favor of the Democrats. I think it's real close in our state, and frankly, I have a very good feeling. I think Governor Romney is going to win our state, and the truth is, if you can win Ohio, you're most likely going to be president. That's just the way it works, because we're such a kind of a bellwether and a sort of composite of the country. So I got a good feeling, I really do. And frankly, if Mitt Romney can win our state, he's likely to be president, and if he can win our state, Josh Mandel can win that Senate race, and you start to see things move in the direction they have to move for us to be able to, in fact, repeal Obamacare.
Now, many are predicting a budget showdown in Congress later this year. Obamacare in its entirety is expected to add hundreds of billions of dollars in new debts in the next 10 years and trillions over the longer term. How will the SCOTUS ruling impact Congress's ability to put the brakes on this so-called fiscal cliff?
Well, I mean, it's going to be part of the debate. I think probably what it does is it further highlights the tax increases that are coming. Again, yesterday's decision was based on the taxing authority that Congress has. And when you look at all the tax increases that are set to hit the American people at the end of this fiscal year, and you add in this tax increase, which is obviously what it is, even though the president said it wasn't, and even though all the Democrats said it wasn't back when they passed the law, it's a tax increase. When you add all that together, I think it just highlights and underscores how serious the tax issue is. So you're going to see us vote here in the House to keep in place the tax cuts that are there on the marginal rates, on cap gains, on dividends, on the payroll. You'll see us keep those tax rates in place so that we don't have a tax increase hitting the American people. Again, I don't think Harry Reid will pass it, but I think what this decision does is underscore how serious the tax debate is.
Now, I know that you're a big anti-tax crusader. Do you think that in the end that the Bush tax cuts will be extended?
I think what is likely to happen is I think we're going to win in November. My hope is that if we can't get the Democrats to go along with keeping the tax rates in place and not raising taxes on the American people, my hope is that at least if we get into the next Congress, when the reinforcements come, we can do the right thing and get tax rates lower then, and frankly reform the overall tax code. Everyone understands our tax code is too complex. We need to reform it and lower rates and put in place the right kind of tax policy. But we may have to wait until we get the reinforcements and do it in the next Congress.
Last question for you, Representative Jordan, is on a separate issue. Yesterday, House Republicans held Attorney General Eric Holder in contempt, voting 255 to 67 for refusing to release documents relating to Fast and Furious. What do you make of the 17 Democrats who crossed the aisle to side with Republicans and vote Holder in contempt?
They look at the rule of law as more important than partisan politics, and I commend them for their vote. I mean, look, this is real simple. Give us the documents. You've had ample time, more than ample time. Give us the documents so we can get to the truth, so the Terry family can get to the truth, so the American people can get to the truth and know what took place in this Fast and Furious operation. This is real simple. This is a criminal matter. This is a rule of law matter. There are documents out there that the committee needs to see. Give us those documents so that the American people can get the truth. And 17 Democrats were willing to say, you know what, that's more important than any partisan games that can be played.
Representative Jim Jordan, Republican from Ohio, thanks so much for being with us today. And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.